YouTube is boring now, and here's why. Do you guys remember when YouTube used to look like this, and this? I swear, everywhere I look on YouTube now, it's just a shell of what it used to be. It is not what I remember 10 years ago. YouTube, it's just become this overly Mr. Beastification of absolutely fucking everything in the entire platform. And it's just kind of sad. You know, I remember when YouTube was just this thing where you can just upload whatever you wanted and you could be pretty successful at it. I did a YouTube channel for a long while and I wasn't really too successful at it. It wasn't this chat channel, but it was something else where it was gaming videos, and I loved the heck out of it. But you know, it would have never worked today. It would have never worked today because everything that you post now has to be this produced thing. You know, I remember when YouTube was just this great little platform where you could just post whatever you wanted, and it didn't really matter. It didn't really matter if, you know, how much, the click-through rate. The click-through rate didn't even really matter. Like, it would just, your thumbnail would just be a photo of the game, and that would kind of be it, you know? So I remember those days where, you know, watching Jacksepticeye, and it would just be a video of him playing Happy Wheels, and that was kind of it. Now it's like you go on the trending page, and it's like, we bought a $100,000 yacht, and we put it in the middle of the ocean, and we survived 100 days on it, too. It's just like, YouTube is not what it used to be. And it's just kind of a sad reality where I feel like small YouTubers like me or others, like, being a Mr. Beast is actually really, really tough because, I mean, number one, the cost of just making the videos is millions and millions of dollars, not merely anybody has. Number two, the means of trying to create a YouTube video that would potentially go viral is even harder. You know, it's even harder than it used to be 10 years ago. You know, like, you have to make sure that everything is perfect, and you gotta, you know, I was just watching a video today about, like, how to hit your first 1,000 subscribers in 30 days, and it's like, oh, well, these are the big secrets that YouTubers don't tell you, and they keep it private in their WhatsApp chats. It's like, yeah, but I miss the ways that YouTube used to be, where it was like, you just kind of post, and you don't worry about tags in your videos, and you don't worry about trying to please the audience to an algorithm. You just kind of post and people watch it. Ooh, what a nice ravine. I just, you know, that's the thing I've realized as well, is doing YouTube for almost 7 years. That's how long I had the other channel for. It just makes you realize how much it's just changed over time. I don't know. Nothing is simple anymore. You know, you don't really see Good Mythical Morning on the trending page, or you know, them taking an ice bath and it gets 10 million views. You know, you don't see that anymore. You know, when content like that was simple, yeah, maybe they had a studio and they had a little bit more of production, but you could totally do that by yourself. You could totally set up your own little production thing and kind of do that. And I'm not saying you can't do that now. I'm just saying that it would be easier 10 years ago if you were to set up a little production thing for YouTube and go at it and you know, try to build an audience. Now, it is just so, you have to be almost exact with every little detail that you put on your video before you post it. And that's why it's so hard. You know, there were there's probably millions of brilliant YouTubers out there and people who really work on their craft, and they don't ever really get a chance in the spotlight just because of how difficult it is to format a video. Like, if you have a few tags in your video that are high, or whatever, you don't really know how it works, and you just kind of throw tags on there that looks good, 9 times out of 10, I mean, it's not going to work. Maybe you'll get super duper lucky and find a way, you know, maybe one tag will help you get some views or get some attention, but it's not where you just kind of post and see what would happen. You know, a lot of it is just really trying to follow the current trends and the current topics. Not like it used to be. It really was, you really just post whatever you want. And I've heard it from multiple different YouTubers like Jacksepticeye, him doing interviews and stuff, where it's like, you know, YouTube isn't the same. And a lot of them, from what I've heard too, a lot of them miss how it used to be, you know. I remember a thing, Jacksepticeye went on a Tommy Innit, like, lie detector kind of thing, and I think one of the questions was like, oh, do you miss the old way YouTube was or whatever? And he was like, yeah, like, I miss the way it was just so much easier. It was a Wild West. You just kind of post an Undertale like gameplay and people watch and all that. And you know, it's not that way anymore. You know, look at Tommy Innit's videos, for example. Like, when he was really grinding on that Minecraft grind, like, he had all these crazy captions and everything was super fast, and everything is so Everything is so oversaturated now. It feels forced and it feels fake. 10 years ago, you had Stampy Longhead going through his Minecraft world, showing people what he built, and it was just a chilled out thing for 10 minutes a day, and people watched. Millions of people watched. Try to post that now, and you could, it wouldn't ever be the same. And I'm sure that's kind of hypocritical of me to say, because I'm basically doing the same thing. But you look at videos of YouTubers who popped back in the day, and you look at their videos now if they're still kind of doing the same thing, and you can notice the views and the decline in viewership, even though they didn't change their style up one bit, and they just kind of move on to the next thing. The means of trying to make a viral video is really hard now. And YouTube Shorts kind of makes up for that. You can kind of go viral on YouTube Shorts a little bit easier. More people could get to your stuff a little bit easier, but still, I also feel like in the way of content, it's going to be more short form, like TikTok and YouTube and all that. Like YouTube knows that this, in the next 5 years, I don't think there'll really be a lot of long-term content like it is now. I remember I used to sit and just watch Venturian Tales. Shout out to people who know that. My God, that is a deep memory from my brain. But shout out to people who know Venturian Tale. Like, I would just watch them, and there would be basically no edits. The thing too is editing on YouTube is so much work. Number one, so much more that you'd have to do. Like I said earlier, Jacksepticeye, like he would just throw up his gaming videos, and a lot of the videos from 10, 12 years ago had basically no editing and just basically talking and hanging out with your friends. And that's the saddest thing. I feel like content like that is the most pure. And when you start to edit and do crazy things like, I did this and I spent 30 days eating an only vegan diet, and here's how much I missed eating meat. It's like fucking, and you see captions and crazy edits and all that, and it's just for me personally, I think it takes away the genuine feeling of YouTube content, because it's all about being genuine. I think when I'm rambling like this, it's from the heart. I want people to just hear what I have to say and maybe comment on it, and that'll be great. But what I'm saying is kind of from the heart, and you don't really see that anymore because that doesn't get views, or that's not popular, or whatever. Everything is just this, diamonds. Everything is just super fast. And I feel like TikTok has definitely had a hand in that. Our attention span is fucking shorter than a goldfish nowadays. So, it's just, I wish that you could still post a video now and get tens of thousands of views or whatever it is just by hanging out with your friends and doing minimal editing. That's it. That's all I think that it should be. And I would love to see if you were to start a new platform now and it was just long form content and that was it. You had no ability to do short form content. Almost like how YouTube was 10 years ago. How much views would you get? What would be the difference, between long form and short form content? Would it flourish on that new page? If it was just kind of a chilled out, kind of relaxed thing, would it flourish on a new platform like that? If you just start everything over and just did long form content, that was the only thing that was allowed, would it flourish? Would it perform well in the current year? I don't know. If you click on a Mr. Beast video, it's like the guy took crack. Like, he is just out of his mind. He's like, I spent 1,000 days in a coffin and only ate my own shit. It's like, it's like, it's not what it used to be, man. Everything is an attention getter now. Everything is, I need your attention right now. I need your attention every 2 seconds, every millisecond. I need to show something on the screen. There needs to be something happening all the time. And I'm sure I'm probably going to get a little bit of fire, in the comments from this, because I'm basically doing the same thing now. But I want it to be a little bit more chill. I want this channel to be something where it kind of brings back the old YouTube, and not in a boring way, but in a way that people can sit and just watch and just kind of enjoy. Throw this on when you're cleaning your room, or throw these videos on when, I don't know, you're doing a little bit of homework or something like that. It doesn't have to be this every 2 seconds you need to be watching, or you need to be, engaged. You could just kind of throw this on and just kind of chill with me. And that was kind of the thing. And I feel like that's the reason why YouTube is boring now, is because you don't see the authenticity that you used to see when it would be a short video. You know, like Morse Critical is another one where he just kind of turns on a camera for 10 minutes, talks about, you know, what's going on for 10 minutes. You just got to hear what he has to say, and there's no crazy edits or anything, and he gets millions of views. So I like that in terms of the fact that he likes to keep it very very old school and old style, and you don't see a lot like that. I just think that YouTube, in my opinion, I think YouTube has had a prime, especially in gaming. It is not, in my opinion, as, you know, as good as it used to be with the Stampy Longhead and all these classic YouTubers, Dan TDM. Like, that was the peak. Like, if you didn't live through fucking Dan TDM and all that, then, oh my God, you guys missed out on prime YouTube, where you could just kind of upload. It was a Wild West, and it didn't have to be this overproduced kind of muck that we have now. My packaging for my content, if you will, like, I try to make sure that when you guys see it, it's something at least interesting to you, and I want there to be a conversation. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I want to ask you a question. Do you think that YouTube is better now, or is it better the way it was? So that's the question I want to ask you. But anyway, thank you for watching this little yap video. I hope this was somewhat interesting to you. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, if you want to hear more stuff from me, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.